Okay. Check to see if we're live, like I always do. As promised, I'm going to give you guys an update here on an officer involved shooting. But like I said, let me check here. Yeah, I think we're live. Okay, cool. King Solomon, what's up, man? Nice to have you in here. I'm going to wait for a few people to get on in because this one's really important to me and to the community here. We got an update. We're going to listen to the piece of shit liar, police chief, Aurora police chief, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle. Nice to have you here. We're going to have an update, as promised, on the comment show about the officer involved shooting in Aurora, Colorado, in which an officer decided to kill a citizen who did have a gun, in fairness, and we'll go over all the particulars. Digital Denizen, welcome, Denizen. Nice to have you here, man. We will cover the basics as to what happened and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and share the screen with you all. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Hey, Ellie. Nice to have you in here. I am going to pin the link, but it's specifically for a couple of people. Ellie and Jen are more than welcome to come up here. I don't want to deal with any porn bombing or anything nefarious, so I'm just going to limit it to Ellie if she wants to get up here, and Jen. But I'm going to throw that into the chat here. And Unindoctrinated, welcome. This one's going to be a pretty important one, guys. I teased it earlier. It's this one's a tough one, guys and gals. It's a really tough one. So we're gonna get through it as best as we can because it's hard to talk about. It really is. It's getting ridiculous in Aurora. And I'll give you guys an update as well on a phone call that KDOT and I had with the independent monitor about this whole situation and kind of the mealy mouth bullshit that's been spewing out of his mouth. I didn't record that conversation, but I kind of wished I did. I got a little heated, and I never do. I always wait and listen. And KDOT and him were having a heated exchange, let's say, and I kept getting cut off by Jeff, the independent monitor, and non-mouse. What's up, man? Nice to have you in here. Jen, nice to have you in here. Creole, nice to have you in here as well. We got an important update on a shooting that happened here in Aurora, Colorado. I'm going to give you guys the straight up, straight truth, as they say. Yes, truth with an F. But let's get into it without further ado. Let me hit some music just so I can drink some something. I do apologize. I'm a little bit under the weather, but let's go ahead and hit you guys with some intro music, and then we'll get straight into it. All right, welcome everybody to. I don't know if this would be considered a show. It's more of an update. Welcome to MLH updates. Going to give you guys the rundown on why we are here at this particular video. A couple days ago, a citizen of Aurora, I'm guessing, most likely a homeless citizen of Aurora, got shot and killed by the Aurora police. And KDOT brought it to my attention. So props to KDOT. I hope you're listening, KDOT. Um, and something didn't ring true to both him and myself. You like that one, Digital Denison? I hope you do, man. It's a pretty good little 8-bit version of Everyone's a Winner. If you guys don't know what that is, but anyways, so KDOT brought this to my attention, and we thought it was the press conference itself was fairly strange. And it was strange because the police chief admitted that the guy was running away and still got shot and killed by the Aurora PD. So, I mean, this one just gets stranger and stranger. And I'll tell you the twist in a minute. But what we need to the intro music needs to be longer. No, I just need to get into it, Ellie. It just gives me a chance to, drink something and whatever. I have the full version. If anybody wants the full version, I paid for the full version. It's actually really cool. Ellie, if you want me to send you the digital file, I will. And anybody else that wants the digital file of that, I actually own the rights to it, so I can send you guys that song. But so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you guys the press conference, and then we are going to get into the minutia. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger for you guys, and then a little bit bigger here. Hold on a second. Oh, I got to find the other window here. Otherwise, you guys can't really you know see the that's no good. That's no bueno, as they say. Hold on a second here. Let's try this full screen. Actually, before we do that, actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go full screen, and then uh, we'll discuss, because this is pretty interesting. Can you guys see the full screen there? Give me a one in chat if you can see it full screen. I want you guys to be able to look at this police officer, this Chief Acevedo, in his eyes and tell me he's not full of fucking shit. But let's let me get confirmation. Okay, we're good. Ellie, it's a 2. Okay. Chris says 1. Michelle, welcome, Chris. Says exit full screen. Okay, well, let's exit full screen. And let's just do it this way, because I'm not going to mess around with it. You guys need to see this. So let's go ahead and play this, and then you guys can be the judge. But we'll discuss this after, and I'll tell you the shocking twist to it all after, because we found out some more information. Hold on one second. Let me turn it louder. There we go. Can you guys hear the siren and stuff? Let me know, chat.
AG1 is so much more than a greens powder. In one
Of course, there's got to be commercials, right? All right, I'm gonna put theater mode. Apparently, that's better for everybody. So let's go ahead and do that.
All right. Good morning. I'm Aurora, the police chief here in Aurora. With me, I've got our deputy chief, Heather Morris, Lieutenant Prey, who was our watch commander this morning, our chief of staff, Reagan Pena. We've got Chief Mark Hillebrand from our investigations unit, and Commander McGee, who's our District 2 commander and actually was the on-duty executive. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what occurred this morning. I want to thank everybody for your patience. This morning at about 2:32 in the morning, we had 2 patrol officers from our District 1 Patrol Division that were monitoring the mesh cameras at this location. They were monitoring activity at the bus stop behind me. If you know anything about this area, this is a pretty high activity area. We've got a lot of complaints about drug dealing, drug use, theft in this area right here. And so these officers had some additional free time this morning, and our patrol officers are actually doing proactive policing by monitoring the mash cam. At about 2:32, they actually spotted what appeared to be a confrontation between 2 male adults. And at one point, they noticed an individual produce a firearm, a handgun, appears to be potentially a semi-automatic handgun or pistol. At 2:34, the officers aired that they were making contact, and also that it included an individual who had pointed a gun at another male individual. And at that point, at 2:34 in the morning, a call was generated by our dispatch center. At the same minute, at mark at 2:34, the officers aired that shots had been fired. The officers then continued to give commands to the suspect, who did get struck by one officer who's discharged his service pistol. The individual was not complying initially, and they had waited for additional officers to put together a quick react team. And at 2:38, within a matter of a few minutes, they were able to move up on the individual that was down, which is a male adult, and they immediately started life-saving measures. At 2:47 a.m., AFR actually transported our suspect that was down to University Hospital nearby. And at 3:01 a.m., the individual unfortunately succumbed to his wounds and was pronounced deceased. I can tell you that the entire OIS was captured on video, on body-worn camera video. We do have the actual mesh cameras captured the what appeared to be a felony menacing potentially with the firearm with our officers, and a confrontation that occurred that we're still trying to investigate whether it was attempted robbery or what we have. That's under investigation. So keep in mind, this is all preliminary. It's early on in the investigation, and there's a lot of work to be done as usual. We also have confirmed a firearm is present at the scene that is believed to be part of the was in possession of the individual that has been shot. No officer has been injured, and unfortunately, some of the individuals here that might have witnessed this did not want to cooperate and refused to cooperate when our officers attempted to get information from them, and they've scattered into the wind. Quite honestly, there's a lot of unhoused individuals in this area, and sometimes they cooperate, sometimes they don't. I will tell the community that our body-worn cameras they were on. We have sound, we have body-worn camera video, and we know we're going to have video from these businesses that we will be analyzing as well. As you can imagine, again, this is a preliminary information. Our officers, the shooting officers, only 2 officers on scene when the shooting occurred. They're the 2 that were actually monitoring the location on the mesh cameras. The shooting officer that discharged his firearm is a 4-year veteran of the department. He's been out with our department for 4 years. It's a male officer, and the partner officer, the backup officer, has been on the department for 1 year. He's also part of District 1. Both officers were transported to our headquarters, where they will now be part of two investigations. One is the CERT team that has been called, and they'll be here eventually. And the other one's the Internal Affairs Investigative Team. We also had our Firearms Investigation Unit has been on scene to look at the scene, to get eyes on the scene, and they'll be part of the investigation into our officers from the administrative standpoint. Our MCU has been here, our Major Crimes Unit has been here, and they will investigate, obviously, what occurred at the bus stop between the 2 male adult individuals. We do have one person that has been detained and taken into custody. Again, we're not sure exactly what his role is. That's part of the investigation, and as we develop more information, we will pass it on. I want to thank the community here for their patience. We have opened up westbound traffic on Colfax at Havana, and we've opened traffic north and south on Havana, north of this intersection here at Colfax. Please try to avoid the area if at all possible. RTD has been notified from the Ward Go, and they've been updated in terms of the closures. We expect this closure to remain probably for the next few hours. So if you can avoid Colfax and Havana, it's not a bad idea. So I want to thank our lieutenant, our watch commander, who was on scene very quickly, Lieutenant Prey, and did a great job of managing the scene, controlling the scene, actually getting everything organized, and just a fantastic job of fantastic leadership. So I want to thank Lieutenant Prey, and I want to thank our commander for calling us right away. We've been out here since a little bit after 3 a.m. And again, we'll start the investigations. There'll be an administrative investigation with Internal Affairs. There'll be an independent CERT team investigation into the officers' actions leading up to it. And as soon as we can, we'll provide an update. With that, again, it is early on in this investigation. So as we get more information, we'll put it out to the to the community. The suspect is a male adult, or the deceased individual is a male adult, and he appears to be Caucasian, either Caucasian or of Hispanic descent, but that's not been determined at this point, and because we have not been able to identify him. So with that, I'm going to open up to any questions. But again, it's early on in the stages in this investigation, and we got a lot of work to do. Anyone that has seen it, has any information, may have witnessed it, please contact the district attorney's office in the 18th district or our major crimes unit at the police department. When the officers arrived, by the way, I have reviewed the body worn camera video. That's something we've started here. We review it at the scene, and the officers, you can see them on video. You can see the individual running away, and the individual that was armed, that they knew to be armed because they had witnessed him produce the pistol on the mesh cam, started running away. The officer started yelling some commands to the individual to stop, to put his hands up, and at one point there's a discharge of the firearm. Keep in mind that it happened very quickly. If you put it out at 2:34, and they broadcast shots fired at 2:34, so it's a matter of seconds from the arrival to the suspect running, the officer give him command, and the one officer discharging his firearm.
Was there any discharge from the suspect?
That's part of the investigation. I can tell you that when he produced that handgun, that you can see clearly on the mesh camera. It's hard to tell at this point whether he discharged around. We have not canvassed the entire scene here. We have secured the scene, and we're waiting for our CSI, obviously the CERT team, to arrive and process the scene probably in daylight. So I don't believe he discharged it when he was confronted by officers, but it's still yet to be determined. Again, it's very preliminary, the information I'm providing. That's it. Just one officer opened fire. And again, they started as soon as they can get the REACT team together. They moved up on the individual because he was initially not complying. And then they started CPR immediately once it appeared to them that he had lost consciousness. AFR arrived within a couple of minutes. They took over patient care, transported to the University Hospital, and sadly, a few minutes later, the suspect succumbed to his wounds. We have not identified the suspect at this point, or the deceased individual at this point, and we'll provide that information when we can. Any other questions?
Can you walk us through what the officers were seeing on?
Yeah, and I've watched that too. We've all watched that, and so they were monitoring. This is a pretty high activity location. We get a lot of complaints, a lot of crime going on here, and these businesses and people that come to these locations, to the stores behind us. We want to create a safe environment. So they had the time to do some proactive policing. They were watching, monitoring that bus stop. We're right behind there,
I'm going to pause it right there real quick. Remind me, everybody, about this point in particular, about people, the police monitoring the cameras. All right, back to the press conference.
When you can see clearly confrontations between the individual that's deceased and another individual who has been taken into custody, is detained right now at police headquarters. At one point, it looks like another individual want to grab the backpack, and then this individual proves a handgun and menaced that individual. So again, we don't have any information right now as to what that confrontation was about, but the officers can clearly see. You can clearly see that then the deceased individual did come out with a handgun and pointed it at this individual we have detained at police headquarters. That was clear.
At any point, did the suspect bring the handgun towards the officers?
You know what? I can't. It's too hard to tell. We're going to have to slow down the video and analyze it closer. Unfortunately, when you look at it, here, the way we look at it, we're not able to slow it down. That it just doesn't have the capability, so we'll have to look at it later. But we do know that he was armed, and we do know that at the time that we made contact, he still had the firearm with him, a firearm with him. So that was yet to be determined. It's dark. It's like a little after 3 a.m. So we have to determine that in part of the investigation. Just giving commands to stop, put your hands up. The officer said, "Stop, put your hands up. Let me see your hands. I'm going to shoot you." Trying to gain compliance from the individual that he knew was armed at the time that he went to confront the individual. So, I'm sorry. It doesn't. It happened so quickly. Again, we're going to have to look at the video a little closer. But no, he was running when the weapon was discharged by the officer. So just once again,
I'm Hope Byrne with.
Okay, let's get rid of that for now. And let's discuss this before I tell you guys the update that I got, because you guys are not going to believe the update. So, did you guys notice anything from that press conference? I mean, I was watching chat as we were going through it, and you guys have made some pretty astute observations, right? All the way from the firearm was discharged as if the officer didn't discharge it; it just discharged on its own. That's the impression that they give you, right? And then the bullet had a mind on its own. I can't remember who made that point. Maybe it was Sheepdog. And by the way, welcome to anybody that I haven't welcomed, like Blue Unicorn and Fab Daddy and anybody else that I missed. I do apologize. I'm a little under the weather. Denizen, I'm not 100% sure on that. That he was shot in the back. Yes, they're piping in classical music during the interview, Fab Daddy. So that was also interesting. I'm glad. That's a very good observation. I'm surprised you heard that. Hold on a second. I gotta drink something, guys. My throat's very parched. Okay, so there's so much to go over here. Let me go ahead and drop the link in again for anybody. I'm going to open it up to anybody that wants to join. But there is a shocking twist to this whole thing. And, I know I'm taking a chance by putting this link in there and letting anybody up. But let's go ahead and take that chance. I'll go ahead and drop the link in here. A lot of subliminal messages there, Sheepdog, no doubt. I hear you, Denizen. It's I'm I don't want to make judgment on this one until I see the body cam footage, Denizen, but I'm calling it right now. This is a straight up murder. And when I tell you guys the shocking twist, can you guys guess what the twist is to this whole thing? I didn't have any music playing, Ellie. That was them. That was either 9 News or the police themselves had that music piped in. Did you notice how art shows how a gun was held? Yeah, I did notice that, Creole. And I think it's all bullshit. Okay. Um, how do I put this? Okay, there's so much inaccuracies to what Acevedo just said there, and what Acevedo said there, and what I think really happened, right? Because I got a bit more information from somebody that saw the body cam footage, and you can glean a lot of things from people's words. You have to really listen, right? You can't just let it go in one ear and out the other and say that you heard what somebody said. Anybody can say that. I heard what you said. Yes, you heard what I said, but did you listen to what I said? Because listening is a different animal altogether. I'm getting better at it, right? But this guy he needs to go. Acevedo needs to go for one, right? The twist is that the victim was banging the cop's wife. I wish Blue Unicorn. Do you guys want me to? I should just tell you. I'm gonna have to watch that again. That was crazy, Sheepdog. Yeah, it is. It is crazy. And they've already got their excuses lined up, and I already know this from talking to the Independent Monitor. And I'm going to tell you guys about that conversation. I wish I would have had that conversation recorded, but I don't. But I do have a conversation with the chief of Aurora Police, the interim chief of police, Art Acevedo, from a long time ago that I'm going to share with you guys at some point to kind of give you an idea of what this fucking asshole is all about. Okay. He's a talker and he's not a very good one. And this was a disastrous press conference. Okay. This was almost as disastrous as the Jordell press conference. And for those of you who don't know who Jordell was a 14 or 15-year-old kid that got shot and killed by Aurora PD for supposedly brandishing a pellet gun, which they described as a semi-automatic weapon. Again, another semi-automatic weapon, right? So, there you go. These are places Art has been fired from. Creole says, Houston Police Department, Austin Police Department, and Miami Police Department. Yes, Creole, and we talked about Miami and Austin and Houston. And his excuse for leaving Miami, you're not going to believe this, and nobody would believe me unless I had it recorded, which I do, and I will release it at some point. He said that he got ousted from Miami Police Department because of the Cubans. That was his excuse. Yeah, he came from Texas. You're surprised, Mushroom Manny? Yeah, nobody's surprised. It's crazy when you're nationally renowned for being a pig. Acevedo is a special kind of tyrant. Denizen, I don't like referring to him as pigs. I like Big Nick's preference to call them cockroaches because at least pigs are kind of cute when they're little and they're actually very clean animals. These animals are not clean, they're not cute, and they're more akin to cockroaches. Shocked Mesa PD isn't on that list too. I'm actually half shocked too, Mushroom Manny. So there you go. How dare you, Keeper? Why is Mr. Arturo Acevedo now Art? Is he scared? He doesn't like to be associated with being Hispanic, non-mouse. And excuse me. And by the way, that's a part of his whole stick, right? When you start getting rid of your heritage like that, that's kind of a problem. And I didn't call him out on that Anon Mouse, but I really should have. It's kind of a minor point, but it is an important one. So I appreciate you pointing that out. What else we got in the chat? I agree with you and Nick on the pig term, but I'm too attached to let it go. I know. See, I mean, people get too used to it, Denizen, but I'm telling you, it's so much more satisfying calling them cockroaches. Has MLH shown us his what? His ink yet? I don't have any ink, Keeper. I have zero ink, but I will. I'm getting tattoos. But I got to get this car situation taken care of first. Mick T, welcome to chat. We're discussing a disastrous press conference that Aurora interim chief Art Acevedo had over a officer involved shooting in Aurora, Colorado. Art was born in Cuba. Yeah, he complains about the Cubans a lot, Creole. He's kind of a racist of his own kind, and it's very, very apparent that he doesn't like his own race. And I'll release that audio at some point. Noel says feral hogs are very dangerous. Well, that's true. Ass of Vado. All right. Yep, I agree. Okay. Here's the shocking twist to it all. You remember him talking about another homeless person that was detained, right? I wonder. Can you guess why the other guy was detained? Anybody have any guesses as to why the other homeless guy was detained? And he was detained for good reason. Don't get me wrong. Cockroaches won't eat you alive. Feral piggy will. I tell you what, Anon Mouse, if cockroaches were big enough, they would eat you alive. And you get enough of them, they will eat you. He looks suspicious. No, Ellie, they actually detained this individual. And I say detained, not arrested. He was not arrested. And no, he didn't have a weapon. No, he didn't have a spliff, Mick T. The reason that the other guy, it was a black gentleman that they detained, was because he was trying to rob the quote unquote suspect, right? The other guy had a backpack. This is the shocking twist to it all. All right. The guy that had the gun that got killed, all right, the deceased individual, which is what he's being referred to now. I mean, he's no longer a person, right? He's just a deceased individual. He's lost his identity. You know, he's not a victim or anything of that nature. So here's how it went down. They were at a bus stop, and right now the buses are free. They were free in July and they were free in August. Okay, and that's brought a lot more people to the public transportation system, which is called RTD, the bus stops, right? The buses. So the black guy tried to steal the quote deceased individual's backpack. Once that happened, the Hispanic guy, the deceased individual, I'm not even going to call him that anymore. The victim, right? The victim did brandish a weapon. He had a gun, which last I checked wasn't illegal. You may have local ordinances that say you can't have a weapon, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to hear any excuse. The Second Amendment trumps them all. Okay. Whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, he had a gun legally, right? And he pointed the gun at the black guy, and the black guy put his backpack down. So there you go. That's what happened. So then after that little skirmish, the cops get involved, right? And the officer, you know, started in with his spiel. Stop, put down your weapon, blah, blah, blah. The guy ran. Which I never recommend running. Right? Yes, stealing is now no. Ellie, don't get me wrong. It wasn't him. It wasn't stealing. It was protecting your own stuff that got this guy killed. You can now be killed in Aurora, Colorado for protecting your own property. Protecting. Oh, you said that, Anonymous? Suspected deceased individual was protecting himself. Yes, he was. He was protecting his own stuff, and that's why he was killed. So it's now it's illegal to protect your own things. Cop shot the wrong one. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think the other guy should have got shot either. But check this out. And a little bit of irony, right? A little bit of irony. They detained the other guy, but they didn't arrest him. They cited him not for robbery, not for attempted robbery or anything like that. It was like attempted larceny, and they gave him like I think it was a misdemeanor ticket and let him go. So, I mean, you couldn't make this shit up, guys. This is crazy. It's getting wild, and it gets even more wild. Keeper says, we are all a number: Social Security, Social Insurance, bank account, transit card. The only thing the states really does not number is weapons owners, it appears. That's right, Keeper. That's right. So hey, Chris Winks, welcome. I don't think I gave you a proper welcome. Everybody sub to Chris Winks, got a great channel. Gun rule number 1, don't point your gun at anything you do not intend to shoot, but I guess it can be used as a deterrent too. And that's pretty much exactly what happened, Mushroom Manny. This guy, I mean, of course he didn't want to shoot the guy, but he was trying to deter him. He was trying to get his shit back, right? And I don't recommend pulling out a gun in public, right? I'm a Second Amendment guy. I don't own a gun. I don't recommend others go out and buy guns. I'm not a huge like advocate of semi-automatic weapons. I actually can't stand AK-47s. I think they're extremely dangerous and they can take down a lot of people in a short period of time, right? I know that's controversial in this community, but I personally don't want that responsibility. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I support anybody else's right to do so. I may not agree, I may not like it, but for me, it's not my thing. I'm more of a pacifist. I'd rather beat you with words than beat you with fists and guns, right? No problem, Chris. No problem at all, man. Thought you were gonna say they cited him for vagrancy. It wouldn't have surprised me, Dennison. It wouldn't have surprised me in the least. So, but so check this out. I gave you guys a story, right? Does it match up with what Acevedo said? I don't think it does, right? He did say running, right? If you're running away, if you're running away from something, you're no longer a threat, right? And obviously, this guy didn't want to shoot that gun, right? He didn't shoot the other guy, and he very well could have. I mean, you get that adrenaline rush, you get pissed off, somebody's trying to steal your stuff, they grab your backpack, they take off, that adrenaline's, it's pumping, and he didn't do it. He had restraint, unlike the cop, right? Go for the mini Gatling gun. Yeah. Thank you guys for subbing to Chris Winks. Really appreciate that. Mick T, I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's pretty much right, Mick T. I don't like fighting. I really don't. I'd rather beat you with the war of words, which I often do. I'd rather, beat you in the courts. I'd rather, I'd rather beat you in almost any other way than physically, right? Now that don't get me wrong. I mean, I can swing a mean broom. Ask Ellie and Jen. Bring back the fun, Jen says. I really do wish that we could bring back the fun, Jen. I really do. Verbal judo, Dennison says exactly. Um, that's why you educate yourself and train police with your weapons. Cops are the only gun owners that practice mag dumping weapons discipline. I agreed. Anon Mouse said, you know how many times K-Dot and I have tried to be part of the training in Aurora specifically because they're so terrible at it. These guys are jokes. They're all jokes. This whole thing that there's just a couple of bad apples is ridiculous. But let me before we get into a philosophical discussion about the police and what should or shouldn't be done with training and hiring and all that type of stuff. I'm dangerous with the chancla, Mexican mom. Those chanclas, man, they're the worst, Denizen. I'm telling you, chanclas are more deadly than anything. Dreaded chancla. Chancla. Was the gun even loaded? See, that's a good question, Ellie. Don't know. The answer is I don't know, and neither does anybody else. I'm sure the police know at this point, right? Hold on, let me take a drink, and I'm going to tell you guys about the conversation I had with Jeff, the independent monitor, which you guys are going to love to hear this one. All right, so this morning, before I left to bring Bernie to work, actually it was more towards the afternoon, I guess. I don't know. It's morning. K-Dot calls me. And he gives me the update that the guy was actually being robbed, which was to me mind blowing, right? Actually, it wasn't super mind blowing, but it was a shocking twist to the developments, right? So you're gonna have to excuse me, guys. I'm with my the way I sound and having to take sips of drink every once in a while. I'm a little under the weather. I do appreciate the patience, but so. K-Dot calls me and he gives me the update, and I'm a little surprised, maybe even a little shocked that that the victim got killed here, and to boot, the other guy was quote unquote detained, and then excuse me, hold on, coupled with the fact that you have a dead citizen. You have a guy that's just being detained, not arrested, for trying to rob somebody, which is asinine. He got cited and let go. And then you couple that with the disastrous press conference in which the chief basically admits that the guy was running away, right? Is this the independent monitor that K-Dot interviewed a while back? How long do they hold those positions? It is the same one. Unindoctrinated, and he's here for I think at least 2, maybe 3 more years while they do the consent decree for Aurora, which obviously things need to change. But let's get to the conversation. So K-Dot's like, you know what? Because I said, you know what, has Jeff seen the cat? Because we called Jeff the day that it happened, and asked that if he had seen the body cam footage because he has access to it, right? And I I was talking to KDOT, and I was like, I wonder if Jeff has seen it yet, right? Seen the body cam footage. And so KDOT said, well, why don't we fucking call him? And I'm like, well, let's do it. Call him. I don't, let's figure it out. Let's see. Let's see without seeing. You understand what I'm saying? So we call Jeff, and Jeff is, man, sometimes he's the most mealy mouth guy you will ever fucking hear. I mean, Ellie's heard him talk before, and she said it right. Jeff is a joke. He's got a cushy, ridiculous job. That's like absolutely correct. It's not a civilian oversight board, Denizen. It's a it's like one of these companies that comes in for consent decrees, and they go through like the training, and I mean it's a whole big thing when there's a consent decree. Basically, a consent decree is nothing more than to placate the public. Joe Cool talked about the consent decree in Chicago and how it was just meant to just pretty much placate the public and calm things down a little bit. And that's exactly what it is. It's not going to really amount to anything, but they do surveys at the beginning, and they try to figure out what's wrong, and they try to fix things here and there, like policy changes and things of that nature, right? Well, not shit has happened here, I can tell you honestly. So so we're talking with him, and KDOT's asking him, did you see the footage? And Jeff tells us that the guy was running away, but it looked like he was going to turn, and that's when he got shot. So KDOT took exception to it, as well as did I, and KDOT let him have it. So this guy did have a gun, and we never recommend running, but he ran, and supposedly the cop told him to stop, and put down your weapon, or I'm going to shoot you, blah blah. The same bullshit that they say to almost everybody, right? And so KDOT's observation was, okay, so this guy was trying to conform, and you shot and killed him anyways. And Jeff was like hemming and hawing and coming up with all kinds of fucking, I don't know if they were not quite excuses, but that's what I mean when you talk mealy mouth, right? You're kind of, like one of those type of things. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, and I'm thinking of this, and I'm just listening to KDOT and him go back and forth, and they're getting a little heated, and they're going back and forth, and KDOT's like, look, you guys are supposed to be siding with the community, not the police. Because it seemed like Jeff was saying in so many words that it was a justified shooting, right? And so then I piped in. And I've heard Jeff, all right? You guys don't know me to be a straight shooter. And I'm usually quiet, when it comes to listening. And I was listening. And I told Jeff, you the last time we talked was with Jordell, right? The 15-year-old that got murdered by Aurora PD. And you came up with every excuse in the book as to why it was justified. And then he got snippy with me. Jeff got snippy with me and decided that well, I've never, and he got really offended. I never have said any of these things or any of these shootings are justified. I don't take sides one way or another and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hold on a fucking minute here, Jeff. You're going to listen to what I have to say now. I don't normally get involved when you and KDOT are talking and decide to, have it out with each other. But this time I'm putting my fucking foot down, right? You have said that in the past, right? Oh, no, I never have. Are you going to let me speak, Jeff? I mean, every time I tried to say something and I was making a good point, you decide to cut me off. So are you going to let me speak or what's going on here? So so I continued on. I was like, you justified the video. Oh, it looks like his arm was there, and it depends on this and depends on fucking what? Depends on how much the police are kissing your ass, Jeff. I mean, It was fucking ridiculous. I was like, this is not what we need here. You know, we need the straight fucking truth. I want to see this fucking body cam footage and decide for myself. I'm not going to trust your words, your vision, because you see things very, very skewed towards the cop. Oh, that set him off. He was pissed. And I'm like, I don't care. Because you know what? The fucking truth hurts. Let me get caught up on chat here. The victim may have felt scared for his uh hold on a second here, sheepdog. I'm getting your comment here. Victim may have felt scared for his life and not only protecting his that's exactly right. Realistically, it doesn't matter if the gun was loaded. An unloaded gun is just a hammer. Don't point your hammer at other people. I agree with that, Anon Mouse, but just because you have a gun doesn't mean you need to get shot. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Unindoctrinated says KDOT was trying to get him in the streets on the cop watch to see how it really is. We both have unindoctrinated, and it still hasn't happened yet. That was supposed to be last November, unindoctrinated, and that actually I don't know if it was KDOT's suggestion or my suggestion, but we wanted to get Jeff out there so he could see. The only problem with that is I have a feeling he would have tipped off the police that we were out and about, right? And it's kind of funny, unindoctrinated. After that conversation and a couple more encounters with the police, we've been treated like gold out in Aurora. I mean, they used to get. I mean, you guys have seen our videos. They used to give us all kinds of shit, and now anywhere we go, hey MLH, hey KDOT, here's my card. The incident number is this, and blah 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 blah. The way that it should be, right? So, anyways, Sheepdog says I think they gauge that on behavior, size, etc. It's PR to protect the police department at all costs. Ellie said, yeah, absolutely. And I don't understand it, Ellie. If you want to make yourself better, if you want to make your department better, don't you want criticism, constructive criticism? That's what we're trying to do here, right? That's what KDOT and I have dedicated our lives to, is to giving them constructive criticism. And they can't fucking take it. They don't take it very well. Looked like he was going to turn, Dennison said. Yeah. Look like. Exactly, Dennison. Cops don't run, they shoot. Yep. When was the last time anyone has seen a cop run? Ellie said, yeah, they're all fat and off of donuts, I mean, I understand why people talk about the donut thing, man. You know what? I used to have sympathy for cops too until I got a cop at 16 that held a gun on me because he thought I was smoking fucking weed before weed was legal here. Really? Let's see what else we got here. It appeared that he looked like he might gonna seemingly, so I shot exactly, Blue Unicorn. Non Mouse says I saw one run about 10 steps back to his car a couple weeks ago. Oh man, there are no standards. David Kelly says high crime area ways. That's what coppers are there for. Love when coppers say high crime area. That just means they are not doing a good job. What are we paying for? You know what a high crime area is code for, Dave Kelly? poor areas or places for people of color. That's code for that. Thank you for bringing that up, David Kelly. And by the way, welcome to the chat. Welcome. What else? Yeah, unindoctrinated. You remember that interview? Well, get ready for it because I'm gonna unload on fucking Acevedo at some point. If the thief is smart, he will ask for a lawyer when they drag him in for questioning. Absolutely, 100%, Manny. Good thing it's not a Razor, welcome. Nice to have you in here. Volunteer yet. Unfortunately, it's still a bad piggy with pride and ego. I'm surprised, Razor. I don't think they've implemented that police force yet. They haven't had enough time. Jeff is scared to go out in the streets. I don't think it's so much that. It might be a little bit of that, Creole, but I also think that he would tip off the police that we were out and about. I think that's what's going to happen. But you know what, Creole? I'm going to press him on it, because as soon as I get my car, I'm going to demand that he go out on a cop watch with us so he can actually see the bullshit that goes on out there, right? Up close and fucking personal, you know? But you might be right, Creole. We'll see. I have a feeling that they will try to conflate the story and make it seem like they were trying to go after the thief. Oh, I'm waiting for that one, Manny. Trust me. I think I brought that up to Jeff too. Um, don't put me there. I'm just saying that nobody can tell if their gun is loaded or not. Yeah, that's true, Anonymous. I wasn't trying to paint you in a bad light at all. At all, at all. Keeper, I wish we were superstars, man. But we know our business here, and we're the only ones in the area that are doing anything about it. Everybody else is interested in clicks and views and money and how good I look and how I can make other people look. Well, you don't need to do that, because the fucking police make themselves look bad all day, every fucking day. So you don't need to worry about editing your videos. Just get full context in there. Okay? That's all you got to do. It's all you have to do. These guys are insane. Let's take a look at the news report. That way I can give my voice a break, and then I'll finish up with chat. We'll have a discussion. If anybody wants to come up, well, you're more than welcome to. But let's take a look at the update. All right, here's the update to what went down there, and you'll get another sense of what actually happened there.
Right now at 5:30, Aurora police say a man who was shot to death by officers this week was apparently defending himself against a robbery. It happened around early Wednesday morning at Colfax and Havana. Police said 2 officers were watching a surveillance camera on a bus stop and saw 2 men struggling over a backpack. When police arrived on scene, one had a gun and pointed it at the other person. Officers said he ignored commands to drop the weapon, and one officer then opened fire. Today, police said that the other man, who was not hurt, was issued a summons for attempting to steal the armed man's backpack. Both officers who responded are now on leave pending this investigation.
Okay, so there you go, right? Robbery. It was a robbery. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. The police, man, the police are so bad here. They're so bad. This is why I say, people think I'm joking when I say that the Aurora Police Department is either the number 1 or number 2 worst department in the entire United States. Okay, I know that most departments are filthy, dirty, corrupt places of filth, which they are. But Aurora happens to be amongst the worst. Okay, I know Mesa is pretty close to. I can never decide what's worse: Mesa, Arizona, or Aurora, Colorado. They're both really bad, and by extension, Denver, Colorado, because Denver ain't fucking better. They fucking suck. Dave Kelly, I'm sick of paying for coppers that can't keep area from being a high crime area. Coppers are a joke anymore. They've been a joke for a very long time, Dave Kelly. Why do you think KDOT and I are doing what we do? All right. We're the only 2 activists out here actively doing stuff, right? Actively going behind the scenes and putting in the request and doing the hard work it takes to take some of these fucking assholes down, right? KDOT's got a cop demoted because he was a piece of shit. I exposed cops at headquarters that are making $142,000 to sit on their ass and protect cops that fall asleep on the job. So yeah, there's a lot going on here that we're doing. So what else are we doing here? Here we go. Keeper says the Leos here have BAs in criminal justice, police services, or in social sciences. Then their Leo training and mandatory drug testing, plus, and I don't know what the plus is, but I'm sure there's more, Keeper. That's the way it should be, okay? I always point to the Netherlands, right? In Amsterdam and in places like that, the police have to have a 4-year degree plus training, right? There is one place here in the Denver metro area that requires it. It's Lakewood, Colorado, but those guys are still egotistical pieces of shit. I've run into Lakewood cops before and gave them the 1-2 because they don't know what the fuck they're doing out there. They don't know what they're doing in the entire Denver metro area, right? Okay, let's continue on here. Dave Kelly. So the copper shot a man running away. Is that what I heard? Yes. Was this a drop gun that coppers used to do a cover up? I don't believe that's the case, Dave Kelly. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think in this case he actually did have a gun and he was defending his stuff, right? Can you imagine being a homeless person and all you got is a backpack and somebody tries to steal it and you have a gun? What are you going to do? Are you going to let them get away with taking all your shit? No, I wouldn't. They do lie, Dave Kelly, no question. Thief lives and walks free. Damn. Yeah, Chris Winks, that's exactly right. It's exactly what fucking happened here. Um, what else we got? Blue Unicorn, good job, cop. Save the day. Exactly. No mention of the victim running. Yeah, there was mention. Acevedo said it in the press conference. He was running when they shot him. And then did you hear? Only until he didn't move that they go up there and try to resuscitate. I mean, come on, you fucking shot him. What the fuck is he gonna do? You know? Uh, let's see. Yeah, the cops were the victims. Strange. Welcome. Nice to have you in here, bud. We're just discussing Aurora and what great policing it. No, I'm just kidding. I wish I could say that. Neslover, welcome. Nice to have you here. Tom Cruise is 61 years old. Yes, he is, keeper. Let's see. I would rather have a cop sleeping than shooting people. I agree, Ellie, 100%, but it's still corruption and it needs to be rooted out at all levels. And that's what we're trying to do. Lakewood cops are terrible, Strange says. Yes, they are. I have started and am advising anyone else who carries to go concealed. Open carry of a weapon has become a Leo's license to forcibly disarm or unalive people. Here's the other thing, Anon Mouse. I think I would agree with that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Supreme Court has just ruled against letting people have concealed weapons at all. So I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what the update I saw on that was, which is un-American in my opinion. But I mean, the Supreme Court's a piece of shit. I mean, I think we have to dismantle it from the top down. I can't stand things as they stand. I hate the fact that the country is divided into Democrats and Republicans, right? You either have a D next to your name or an R next to your name, and there's no in between. It's either you support Democrats or you support Republicans, and that's it. And I'm here to say that I support none of it. None of that. I support American people. That's what I support. What else we got here? If you got nothing else to lose, you're not going to want to lose the last thing you got. Exactly, Chris Wink. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. What date did this happen? They haven't released the victim's identity yet. An doctor said this happened either 2 or 3 days ago, unindoctrinated. And it's strange because usually I get a stringer notice, and I didn't even get a stringer notice on this one. And the fact that it happened at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning is really the reason that KDOT and I weren't there. And the other reason is because I don't have my car yet. If I had my car and I would have known about it, you damn right I would have been there. And Acevedo would have heard from me. Trust me. And I might have called KDOT, and KDOT would have been there too. Westside, welcome. Westside's got a great channel. Everybody sub to Westside Accountability. She's got a great channel, and I like her approach to doing stuff. Cockroaches don't care what harm they cause. I agree, Michelle. They do not. They don't care, and that's another thing that needs to be instilled in these cops' fucking minds. They have to have a certain amount of empathy and sympathy and compassion for people. And as I proved in Denver time and time again with the homeless, they don't have compassion. They don't have empathy or sympathy or compassion or they don't love their fellow man. Time to dismantle the whole government. I agree, Westside, 100%. Milo sent you. What's up, Al SoCal? Nice to have you in here. We're discussing the shooting that happened in Aurora, the officer-involved shooting. I'm going to call it right now. The officer involved murder, which is, I'm pretty sure, what it was. No judgment yet. I got to see the body cam footage, but Haven't we seen this play out time and time again, folks? Uh, yeah, I agree, Sheepdog. I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court ruled that concealed carry is not going to be a thing in the United States. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. It was just a passing news story that I heard. So let's hold judgment on that. So, what'd you say here, Ness? Still fuming over the cops in La Haina. Um, Hopefully I said that right. Blockading people in their cars, not letting. Oh yeah, that was crazy, Nez. That was insane. I don't understand that at all. It's like they almost wanted everybody to get killed, right, Nez? Bunch of bullshit. Thanks for subbing Sheepdog to Westside and Blue Unicorn. Blue Unicorn's got a great channel, and he's a great singer and a great guitarist, and my AD, by the way, for the movie. The way I see it, if the dude trying to steal the backpack got shot by the victim, he wouldn't steal any more backpacks. Well, that's true too, Blue Unicorn. I don't think he'd be doing much of anything anymore. Oklahoma shooting at the high school football game. I have not, but I'm sure I'll cover it at some point, Keeper. You know, I mean, that shit's horrible. All of it's horrible. I wish we could get body cams here. Someone with standing needs to challenge that in NC, North Carolina. You know what? Unindoctrinated. If I ever make it over to there, I'll make some noise for it for sure. Maybe we'll do a video on it. K. Dot and I. I think cops everywhere should have cams 24/7 while they're while they're on the job. And excluding pee breaks, nobody wants to see a cop's junk. And poop breaks, but other than that, they should be on all the time, and the audio too. Because if they're gonna conspire while they're eating lunch and shit like that, I want to hear it. I want to hear them conspiring. Let's see. I pack my my weapon in my shorts. Don't tell Bernie. How dare you, Keeper? What else we got here? The Hawaii deal's messed up. All that's so deep and so much in that story not being told. I feel so bad for the people of Maui. I mean, I haven't done a fundraiser in months, guys, because I'm sick and tired of being accused of pocketing money and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to do some sort of fundraiser in the near future. I have someone else in mind that I wanted to do it for, but I think in lieu of that, I'm going to do a fundraiser for the people of Maui. Pretty disgusting, the government's response. Each person gets $700. Instead of promising infrastructure and housing and clothes and water and all the things that those people need, it's $700. It's like totally fucking ridiculous. We have body cams, but they are not public record, only released by judge's order. Yeah, that needs to be changed. Unindoctrinated. That's absolutely atrocious. That needs to be challenged by lawyers over there. Only lawyers can get that done. North Carolina is a county that's turning purple, and even some thoughts to it turning a little bit more blue over there. I know it doesn't make a huge difference whether or not people are Democrats or Republicans because they're all one party, but there's enough people that should get together to form a petition that can get some laws put in place there that they can release body cam footage to the public. Lacey R., welcome. Nice to have you in here. We're discussing the shooting and killing of a homeless person in Aurora, an officer involved shooting in Aurora, Colorado, in which a homeless person lost their life. And Howard County, welcome. Nice to have you in here. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. It does help. Yes, Keeper, $700. That's the government's response to the Maui situation. Should be much, much more than that. Instead of dumping billions and billions of dollars over to the Ukraine, which I feel for those people too. I don't want anybody invading another person's country and all that shit. But we got some problems here in the United States we need to take care of first, right? Our people come first, and they always should come first. People are people. I've always said that, and I feel for people of other countries. My dad came from Mexico. I understand the hardships in other countries and stuff like that, but we need to start thinking about our people, and regardless of any racist perspective of things, the Hawaiian people are American people, and we all should be uh, grieving right now for those people that lost their lives, and continue to suffer because they don't have a house. Now we got a bunch of homeless people in Hawaii with nowhere to go. Not so they're just it needs to so things need to change. They're making it illegal for investors to take advantage of the situation. That's the way that it should be, Ellie. Fuck those people, those venture capitalists that are swooping in like fucking vultures and trying to take advantage of the island of Maui is just absolutely disgusting. I think I saw one video, maybe it was Eye of Odin audits, maybe, but the cop arrested him, took him to the station, and then the cop went to take a dump, didn't turn off his body cam, didn't wash his hands. Does that surprise you, Blue Unicorn? 700 is nothing when you lose everything you have. That's exactly right, also, Cal. Slap in the face, keep your chump change, they're probably saying. Chris Wink says, exactly. Cajun Randy, nice to have you in here. Dave Kelly says, Civil War is coming. People, how else do we fix bad coppers? Because the pen is not working. I don't believe a civil war is coming, Dave Kelly. I believe a revolution is coming, right? And like I said, I'm a very peaceful person. I would much rather take the Martin Luther King approach to getting shit done and better than than what happened in the Civil War. You know, I'm not that way. I don't like to do that, but how far can you push the people before they start pushing back? We haven't reached that point yet, I don't think. Although it's getting close. It's ridiculous that FEMA is staying in 5-star hotels while the victims are suffering and homeless. I agree. I totally agree with that, Ellie. They're homeless. I mean, they should be the ones to get those 5-star hotels. But I also agree that FEMA should be doing more. The United States should be doing more. $700 while over 1,000 FEMA officials are being housed in 5-star resorts at an average of 1,300 per night. Yep, I know. It's sick. It's gross, and it needs to change. Coppers are protected, privileged class of people that they think they have power or ownership over we, the people. Yeah. When does it change, Dave? What's the breaking point? That's my point. What else? 100% pray for Hawaii. We need to do more than that, Chris. We need to put up some money. Whatever you get, whatever you can. And I'm going to eventually. I have to. I say this. I have to get my own affairs in order. I have to get my car first before I can think about doing any type of fundraiser. But I will be doing a fundraiser for the victims in the Maui wildfire. How horrible! The worst fire, a wildfire, and the fire the fire that's taken the most lives in United States history. All right. Uh 2000 a month here for 6 months during the lockdown. Here, Oahu are getting screwed royally. Gee, a knee keeper. Terrible. Terrible. All right. Cop wipe cam. Yeah, I'm gonna get back out there, keeper. I've been itching to do some very targeted cop watches in certain areas of Aurora and certain areas of Denver. And as soon as I get that car, we're going to be rocking and rolling. Trust me, there's going to be a lot more on this channel. I noticed my channel has stagnated a little bit because I just haven't produced the content that you guys want, and I know what you guys want, and I can't give you guys what you want till I get that car. They're having a burnout challenge. Harry is in the lead, I think. Yes, Harry is in the lead, Jen, and it's been pretty awesome. Make sure you check that out over on Harry Nutt's channel. How did cops get their start? Rounding up runway slaves, and they think that is their job. That's absolutely right. The police force, as we know it today, was started as runaway slave catchers, and it's devolved from there, if you can believe that. Take back this country, West Side. I totally agree. 700 is a slap in the face, Michelle says. Exactly. Harry Nuts for president. I agree with that. Chris Winks. Thank you for subbing to Chris Winks, Howard County. That's what it's all about. Really appreciate that. I think we're getting Chris Winks up to a milestone here, a small milestone. But sadly, the one thing I know for sure is that I will be unalive before things get better. That's a very nihilistic way of thinking, Ellie. I understand your feeling, but we have to take solace in the small victories that we accomplish before we unalive. You know what I mean? And I think KDOT and I have done a fairly decent job at that, and you're a big part of it, Ellie, and so are all the watchers of this channel and some other channels out there. Problem with revolution is that after fighting is over and the revolution wins, the revolutionaries are killed by the new bosses. Yeah, that's definitely a danger, Blue Unicorn, no doubt. I am willing to take a bullet, Blue Unicorn. You made a very good point. I talked about it on the comment show earlier today. About being careful when we're out there, and unfortunately, the cops, would rather shoot first, something of that nature that you said in the comments. And K. Dot and I have already made a commitment. We're dedicated to this cause. We're activists for a reason, and even though I've had my issues with the people that came up with the term "good trouble," John Lewis, I believe, is the maker of that term. I had a problem with him in Congress, but the idea of good trouble is absolutely 100% in what I believe, and that's what K. Dot and I are doing. We're creating good trouble. This world is crazy. That's why I tattooed the Joker's ha 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 on me, because it missed of crazies. They call me crazy. Yeah, I know, I hear you, Strange. I mean, you would go absolutely nuts if you had to think about all the bullshit that goes on in this world every day, and think that everything is perfect and all that. They don't just think that it's true. They do have special power and authority over us. Yeah, that needs to change, Denizen. Do you get qualified immunity for your crimes? No, we do not. And the one good thing about here in Colorado, and it hasn't been tested fully yet, Denizen, is the cops here no longer have qualified immunity, and it needs to be that way clear across the board federally. You know, another thing that would help is decriminalizing weed and other drugs too, but that's a whole different conversation. No more mute buttons on coppers cams. I agree, Dave Kelly. I hate that they can mute what they're saying. We don't need more hairy nuts in office. We need more aunties with wooden spoons. Keeper, you're funny. They need way more than prayers. Chris says. I agree. Uh, Taxpayer money over. I made that point earlier, West Side. Instead of sending billions and billions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine, which I agree, we need to help out a little bit. We need to do our part because we're sort of the world police, right? We're the biggest military, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think we need to take care of our own first before we do anything else. We need to take care of those people in Hawaii. Can you give us can you hold on, Cajun Randy? Can you give us come lately's the update on the shooting? I did earlier, Cajun Randy, but for the latelys, as you say, I will give you a quick update. The shooting that happened in Aurora was either a white or Hispanic male. I happen to think it's Hispanic after talking to Jeff, the independent monitor, who saw the body cam footage. The male was running, was given orders to stop. When he tried to turn around, he did have a weapon. When he tried to turn around, he got shot and killed. That's the update that I have. And also, the shocking twist to it all, that guy was actually being robbed by another homeless person. So there you go. My mistakes are crimes. A cop's crimes are procedures, Dennison says. I agree with you 100%, Denizen. It's bullshit. Left, right, two-headed snakes. Yes. There's cream for that itch, Keeper says. Keeper, you never cease to amaze me. Howard County, okay, there you go. Your channel is very important, Howard County. I love your channel, and your wife is awesome too, man. None of your business is an awesome singer, and you can see her almost every Tuesday on Bernie's channel. If you guys haven't subbed to Bernie, make sure you check out Bernie's channel on Tuesdays at 9 Eastern if you want to get away from the bullshit of the world every once in a while. I hate to break the news, but our government doesn't really send us all the money they say they do to other countries. They pocket the money. That's another true statement, Ellie. I agree. What else we got here? Bring back the fun, Jen says. I totally agree, Jen. Uh, let's see what else. We left half a country for high taxes and many other reasons. Uh, we are worse off now. Yeah, that's exactly right. Right? No taxation without representation. Dave Kelly, I agree with you. Uh, non mouse. Grandpas need helmets too. That's in reference to Airy Nuts. That's pretty awesome. Show us some bum, Keeper says. I'll show you my bum, Keeper, if you want. I mean, I got no problem. I got a pretty good bum, you know. Not the only thing good that I have, you know. Oh well, I mean, not the only good thing, but you know what I mean. All right, what else we got here? It's hard to get an officer's body worn cameras, plus it's expensive, and they want you to get a lawyer. See, also, Cal, that's an interesting point. It's the same here. We have to pay for that footage, and it's like all nonsense. Why do we have to pay for it? It's our footage, right? That's our footage. It's not their footage. All right, what else we got here? By the way, I really appreciate the support in chat. We got 25 people in here. If everybody hits that like button, maybe we can get a few more people in here. Maybe you can do videos. Hold on, Lacey. About the agent provocateurs, FBI, etc., that instigated most of the violence during the protests in Colorado and everywhere else. Funny you should say that, Lacey. There was a march a while back, probably about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, maybe six, I don't know. And I can't even remember what the march was, but there were definitely paid instigators that were there that I noticed. People that were trying to throw rocks and instigate things, and you always have to wonder about that. Agent provocateurs are finally being uncovered in Colorado. Lacey R., my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. So if you have any information for me, send it there. Any news articles, any, news reports, send them there. And I'm actually a pretty good reporter myself, Lacey. So, I tend to go where my nose takes me, and usually my nose is pretty spot on. Right on, Nanya. Really appreciate you. Nice to have you in here, by the way. Who else do we got here? Jimmy Dore. What a Jimmy Dore dude. Cited a study from 2009 that said 80 billion could end homelessness, but instead 89 billion buys a lot of weapons for Ukraine. I know, Blue Unicorn. I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy Dore, but there are some certain things that he says that I do agree with, and that's exactly how I feel about it. We could definitely end homeless with about that amount of money. What else we got here? When are you going to be on HCTM again, Ellie? That's a good question, Anya. Ask her. Keeper, I don't want to see Mustachio's ugly mug in here. Let's see. Thanks a lot, Lacey. I appreciate that. Okay, so there's the update there, guys. Make sure you sub to K-Dot's channel. He's 30,000 strong, y'all. And I'm inching up there. I think earlier today I hit my high point at 3,194 people. I know we can do better. It's going to take you guys to do word of mouth, what does Dave say here? Hell, China owns most of everything in this country. Don't forget about them. They own 7-Eleven, Speedway, all kinds of businesses, and land in America. And I heard they have police stations in America as well. Not sure about the police stations. I do know that they own a big chunk of land in the United States, Dave Kelly, which how is that even fucking legal? We can't go to China and I can't even go to China and buy a house in China. They won't allow foreigners to do that, Dave Kelly. But I guess that's a capitalistic nature of this country, Let's see what else we got here. What else we got? Yeah. Sign up. Yeah, we need to show Kate out some more love. All right, I want his channel to get up to 50,000 or more, 100,000, whatever it is. Make sure you tell your friends, your family, anybody that you talk to, that is into any of this. If people like their freedom, they'll sign up, they'll subscribe to K-Dot's channel, and by extension my channel, because we kind of go hand in hand, right? Dave Kelly, once they own the mineral rights, we're all fucked. It's not entirely true, Keeper, because we own a lot of the mineral rights of a lot of country. I know in Mexico, the reason that Mexico is in the conundrum that they are is because the United States owns most, if not all, of the major silver mines. That's what Mexico has as its only real asset, and it's the reason why Mexico is one of the poorer countries in the world, is because the United States owns most of Mexico, basically. What else we got here? Heard in other countries, Americans cannot buy homes or have businesses or anything. That's true for a lot of Asian countries, Chris Winks, like Japan, for obvious reasons. The whole World War II thing. China is a little different. It's because China doesn't have any type of democracy, and they look at us as like they own us. So what? Why do we need to reciprocate? Because they don't. They absolutely do not. All right. All right. I think that's going to do it. Real quickly, just want to let you guys know if you guys are struggling with your own mental health, please make sure you reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor, but I do listen. Sometimes that's all that matters. But if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, just remember somebody out there thinks you're their favorite, could save your life. There's also a national hotline in the United States. It's 988. You can also text that if you're uncomfortable with talking with someone, but just make the phone call or make the text. There's also other resources online on your browser of choice. Just search mental health and help, and you will get that help that you need. That's pretty much all that I have for you. I really appreciate the support and you guys coming out and help me out here and talking about this sensitive subject. As soon as I get my car, I'm going to be out on the road again doing what I do best, and that's keeping these government officials accountable. It's not about bothering or pestering people, it's about holding people accountable in positions of power. Okay? Chris Winks, thank you, man. Thanks for being in here. HCO has mental problems. Probably none. Yeah, I mean, we all have mental issues at some point or another. He's a grinner. He's a sinner. He's a bit. Oh, never mind. In China, they all have the same freedoms we have, for the right to own guns, but their constitution says they have the freedom of speech, religion, owning property, redress government. Constitutions are magic. Yeah, I know, man. I mean, it's an idea more than anything, right? Okay. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. Don't hesitate to email me. If you're listening on the archives, every comment helps. If you're in the chat and you want to leave a comment on this particular video or any other one of my videos, that also helps. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on the next video, whenever that is. Later, everybody.